All right, let's get into it. So, first step before um, just getting straight into creating our virtual machine, we definitely want to start off thinking about organization, right? If this virtual machine goes bad, how can I quickly and safely delete it and start back over and things like that? So, before making a virtual machine, you first want to group your resource because when you make a virtual machine, it's not you're not only making one you're not making one thing in the cloud, right? You're not just making, oh, it's a machine and that's it. It's a Windows or it's a Linux and that's it, right? You're seeing multiple things. You're seeing the machine itself, and then you're seeing the hard drive, right? Your hard drive. You're seeing your virtual network. All of these are going to be tied into your virtual machine. So the virtual network is what's going to allow or disallow you to get online, to surf the web, things like that, as well as communicate with other devices that you may have in your virtual network. Right, your hard drive is a separate thing from your virtual machine because you can take one hard drive and use that one hard drive on multiple machines. You can share that hard drive across your virtual network. So making a virtual machine is never one thing. So in order to keep our things grouped, keyword grouped together, we're going to make a resource group. And a resource group is basically what its name says. A resource is anything that is in the cloud, right? So you got virtual machine, that's a resource. Virtual network, that's a resource. Azure Active Directory, that's a resource. A storage account, that's a resources. So resources are basically items that you have created and modified in some way, and it's now linked to your account. So it's then a resource, right? So we want to keep our resources grouped together. So let's go into our resource groups and we're going to create a resource group. So resource groups. And it's as you can see, I already have a couple of resource groups. This is my naming convention. I'll usually say some type of name and I'll underscore RG, and I'll know when I see it, I'll know like, oh, that's a resource group, or this is a VNet, or this is a such and such. Because sometimes Azure, when you create different things in Azure, it will add like a special identifying tag, but a lot of things it will not. So you definitely want to have you some type of naming convention going for yourself or your company. So resource group is easy to group. You just go here and click on create, and then you pick the subscription. Only have one subscription, so you can pick the subscription that you want this resource group to be assigned to, and that particular subscription will be billed for that resource group. So I only have one subscription, so add subscription one, and then you basically give it a name like my resource, right? Group one, right? Bam. Can you have a space in it? No. It can only have alphanumeric, underscore, parentheses, hyphen, or period. There's no parentheses. So if I do a Unicode, I think Unicode, no, that's not Unicode. That's not a Unicode character. Is it and? It's one of those. But my resource group one, it can't have spaces, so I just always use, I always use underscores in place of spaces. Whatever type of naming convention you want to choose, just make sure it's consistent across all your resources. So when you make a virtual machine, it asks you for the VM name. Make sure you try to keep that same. If you've been using underscores, keep using underscores. Don't have different things all over the place. Because when you go back to the management stage, when you reach the management stage of managing your things and maintaining, it's going to be hard to keep track of everything because you have different name conventions. So try to stick with one name convention, and then you create tags. Tags are things that you can put on there to just identify the resources. And then later, when you're in the management stage, you can filter things by tags. So let's say if I put a tag owner and I put Fred, right? This is just a simple example. So now when I go into my management stage and I'm ready to manage and maintain, I can list all the resources with the tag owner and the value Fred. So it's just another thing to use tags to keep track. Or you might want to say, creation date, right? Then you want to keep track of, I think Azure already keeps track of your creation dates, but if you want to keep track of when something was created, right? You could put 12, 20, 2025, which is not a year yet, but that's another way. These are just tags to add, and as you can see, you can add multiple tags. Um, I'm not going to add a tag because with this resource group, I've already set up an Azure policy that if anything, whenever anything is added to this resource group, that to my resource group, that it will automatically get assigned specific tags that I already set up. So if I go back, the next step after tags is just review and create the resource group. So it's very straightforward. As you can see, I don't have to put tags. Validation did pass. If validation did fail, it would have like a little red asterisk on one of these steps in the process, and you can go back and see what you did wrong. So let's say I picked a subscription, but I didn't put a name, right? And I clicked on tag. I don't want to tag. I did create. It says validation failed, right? Required information is missing. So basics, it got the red X. So I know if the red X is by basics, I know this is the area that I messed up. Oh, I didn't put a resource group name. Let me put a name in there, right? Name one or whatever, right? And now we skip all the way. So you can click next to tags and then next, but I can go across these tabs and go straight back to review and create and validation passed. So that's just the validation tool. So now uh, I got a group one underscore RG. So that's my group one already. So I made a resource group. So now in this resource group, I've already created a virtual network. Uh, well, I got technically two networks, but uh, the virtual network. So after creating a resource group where it will keep track of your resources, your virtual machine, your hard drive, your virtual network. After creating a resource group, you really want to create a virtual network.